It's me here, Jake, CTO of Omanee Corporation, and also Technical Director of Well Foundation. It's my pleasure here to be the host, moderator of our panelists in here. And before that, Mr. David start the stage. He prior the stage, take all the energy of the stage, and you can see he tell about the journey of the bird and how the bird can get the food to be taken care of for the family. And he already host for DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. Many beautiful and useful information had been raised in the panelists for us. So in our panel discussion, now we will talk about something isn't like food. We will take care of our family. It's a trendy of future. We will talk about the Web 3.0. We talk about the NFT. We talk about Metaverse, and of course we talk about something people in here would like to be here, landing in crypto. 2021, and we all can see the NFT can be here on the magazine, on the internet. So we talk about NFT a lot. Also Metaverse, we can hear many times repeat on the magazine and also for every channel. Also in 2021, we have many things look like DeFi, talk about the landing in crypto. So today, we will talk about the changing of future. So our panelists here will show you some idea about what kind of the property, what kind of the future changing. Thank you. So we would like to our panelists introduce about themselves, to tell more about the project and tell our position that we know more before we can have some questions for him.
Hello, thanks for the invitation. My name is Nguyen. I am the founder of Momentum 3.0. And the reason why I chose Momentum was that the Latin language was the mother tongue of Spanish, French, Italian. That's why we talk similar language. And there are also some differences between our languages. But when I was thinking about the language in which I wanted to create my project, Momentum was a common language. If I talk about the momentum here, they understand me. And if I talk about momentum in Spain, they also understand me. So that was a nice choice. And here I am to talk about NFTs. I will talk about NFTs in an academic way, but also a practical way, because I've been in Dubai for several weeks, and I've been investigating how they are used here and how they will be used in a nearby future. So glad to be here, and again, thanks for the invitation.
Hello to everyone. Happy to be here and thank you for the invitation. My name is Vaiva Bronka. I'm legal counsel for one of the projects, LeoPay, but at the same time it's a group of the companies, and we have several decentralized finance projects and also gaming projects. And I'm also a member of the International Intergovernmental Organization for Unification of International Private Law, UniDroit, in Rome, Italy. And this organization is famous and known because that's an organization which adopts international conventions in order to facilitate international businesses, and mainly in capital market, in banking, and also some of the transport industries. And today's agenda, we're working as a new guidelines document for national legislators, and it's called Digital Assets and Private Law, where we try to come up with basic definitions for the terms used in blockchain, in these disruptive technologies. We try to agree what will be the digital asset, what is the taxonomy, and And so, because we are seeing that over the world in many jurisdictions, we're trying too much attention how to regulate business, licensing, regulations, but at the same time very so important is also to look at the regulation of this dynamic of transactional side of the business involved. Smart contracts, liability, disclaimers, and all the transactional possession issues, proprietary issues. And that's why, of course, being practically involved in developing projects from the idea till the moment we launch and offer services in the market, it gives really good insight also after that to advise regulators.
Thank you, Baiba. So we
Hi everyone, my name is Anis and I have joined as a global CMO for XT Exchange. And XT Exchange is one of the top 30 exchanges in the world, and I have joined to expand operations here in the Middle East and Africa. As we are talking about the NFT projects, XT is also launching the very own NFT exchange in the next 6-7 days. So I have been working on the promotions of the same, and yeah, I'm very glad to be a part of this panel over here. Talk more about what we will discuss right now.
Thank you so much, our panelists. And you can see NFT, in fact, is not so changing. From 2014, the first NFT sale in the market is 1.4 million US dollar. And recently last year, one NFT from people, the artist, very famous artist, for 69.3 million US dollar. So NFT is quite familiar with us already. So, Anasa, what do you think about NFT, the meaning in your real digital world?
Yeah, definitely. See, first of all, I would like to know, as the presenter also told about the NFT, that it's a medium, it's a digital asset, that links ownership to buy and sell, digital properties and physical properties as well, right? So, for me, in an ever-changing big digital realm where the security is a concern, NFT acts as a solution to all that, and not only in the real estate, music and art, we are seeing that NFT is actually changing the gaming industry in general. So this has a huge potential. Like NFT is really, I would say, a game changer for the digital ecosystem in general, where the cyber security is a threat. And I would say that it is not only that we are seeing that people are adopting this technology, but also we are seeing that people are even interested in buying those tokens for investing in those assets. That is really a great thing.
Yes. So, what do you think about that? In XT right now, do we many NFT already listing and already selling in your chain already?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So I can see there's many potential for NFT can go to any kind of market. So right now, I can see some social media company like Twitter, Facebook, they want to go to the NFT also. So Adrian, what do you think is any potential for Facebook, Twitter, go to NFT market?
The first thing that we have to remind ourselves is what's an NFT? What is an NFT? Because we start talking about NFTs and we have an idea of what's an NFT. And that's the reason why so many people think that NFTs are worthless. They are subject to speculation and they are only useful for speculating in OpenSea, for example. And that's not the case, because an NFT is just a registration in a ledger, in a blockchain. It's as simple as that. And if we start to think about NFTs, we can imagine use cases. We can imagine why Facebook, Google, and all the tech giants are interested in NFTs. I've been talking with Ripple, I've been talking with people from YouTube, from Google, I have a YouTube channel. The reason why I think that they are so interested in NFTs is the property and the ownership of videos, articles, the idea of publishing with property rights. That's something that we may talk about it later, because property rights are really important. They have been important since ages, and when we talk about ownership in the digital world, in the digital era, we see that there's a big decentralization in companies. It's not the government that owns it, but companies. And Web 3.0 may be the decentralization to the individual and to the smaller group. That's why I think that they are willing to give those rights to the creators, because we have an interoperability problem in social media, which is that if you publish in a social media account, if you publish in TikTok, or if you publish in YouTube, there are some restrictions or some penalties if you go into another platform. For example, if I publish my video in YouTube, there are incentives for Facebook or for Instagram to put my video in a second place or a third place, because they want to prioritize the content that is being generated in their own platform. That's why you should be cautious about cross-chain or cross-platform in these kind of environments. My opinion is that we may have something which may be open source, like RSS right now, in podcast, and we may see this metadata, the data that is attached to a video or is attached to a gift or any kind of document, stored in a secure way, and then registered in a blockchain or any DLT technology that may be useful in this case. And that's why I think that they are so interested, because if not, they will have problems or they will struggle with the platform that does it. For example, let's imagine that Facebook does this NFT integration, and you can publish between their Instagram, Facebook, and all of that. You may struggle to go into YouTube because you cannot do these interoperability things, and that's why they may jump into NFTs in a nearby future. I've been receiving some mails from YouTube, and they are really interested. I think the reason is what I told you about, but there may be some other reasons. For example, the marketing and the finance side of things. If I want to use a file, for example, music clip, I may be able to monetize with them in a programmable way. It's not just, oh, let's talk about it, let's put some agreements outside of the video. No, it's you can program a stream of payment that goes directly to the creator of the artwork, and we can create joint ventures based on a stream that's being programmed, for example, using a payment method like Superfluid or some others that can be used to stream payments by seconds. If you are watching a video, you can stream a payment by seconds based on the time that you are consuming there. So there are several use cases that we can talk about later. Do you want to ask us? So thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. Hi, Peppa. It's at Lego Consult. I can see right now the copyright of NFT is most very important. Because actually, in fact, right now, many artists have been stolen NFT. So at a Lego Consult, what do you think about this? And how you can consult people? How to keep the NFT safe?
Of course, if you look at these new applications of Web3 like Metaverse and NFTs, it really becomes, it's really fashionable. We talk so much and there's so many new ideas at the same time. Of course, there are also a lot of legal challenges we have to overcome. And anytime, only when we have this great idea. Just before I came here, we had 2 hours brainstorming with an interesting project that's going to be an e-game on Metaverse, sport car driving. There's a huge idea. We want to make like a nice Ferrari car, we will put Red Bull there, it will be nice. Everything is possible. You can do, we will put nice avatars, they will be driving, people will be playing and earning, you know, so it's a new trend, play and earn, everything is nice. But then as a lawyer, we try to split each of this great idea in a parts and to see which kind of laws should be applicable to make it possible. Then we see, okay, there's somebody, there's a Ferrari owns the cars. Okay, we should go and contact to Ferrari. If we want to be legal, you know, we have to bind a contract and some deal with the Ferrari. Why should they allow us to use this car on game, right? If I want that there's this nice advertisement of Red Bull, then again I have to contact Red Bull because they will not be happy to see their nice bull on my game, you know, when earning money. So you know, and the same NFTs. Okay, I can make this car as NFT, and I can sell, you know, one part of the car for one advertisement, for others. So NFTs give so much possibilities. Actually, how we can make business out of it. You know, at the same time, again, we cannot forget that there is no vacuum of regulations. We think it's something new. Yeah, expression of the idea is new, but at the same time, copyright exists since Berne Convention. It's already 200 years ago, which protecting, you know, innovations, intellectual property, copyrights. And at the same time, there is a way how it has to be applied also to these new applications like NFTs. It's all about to protect that somebody created. And that's why all the royalty issues, all the privacy issues, every time that we want to use someone's pictures or be collecting data, there's a data protection issue, there's the privacy issues. So this legal issues which are surrounded with this nice idea, there are a lot of them.
Yeah, thank you, Baba. So, Baba talked that we need to know more about the NFT a little bit. And also, before that, you can take a look on our company who can mine the NFT. Look like us, our partner here, Metaverse, they have the NFT already. They have the original, they have the development team, they have the part of it that you can just, and look like us, we are a platform that you can mine NFT in here. So, the advice from the consultant and from us that you can look on the markets and see what is the company that you can just, that you can do chase on with us. And so, let's talk about the Web 3.0. Nowadays, any company to doing deployment Web 3.0. But some people talk, they just want to be only. That's not really to doing on Web 3.0. They want to increase the rise of the token or something like this. What do you think about the Web 3.0?
Yeah, I think, you know, Web 3.0 is not a trend to pump coins, but rather it's a legit use case of blockchain technology and to create decentralized, you know, platforms and applications. However, I feel, you know, that developers still need time to, you know, innovate and find or create more decentralized servers and cloud space to support this kind of technology and to create or to legit these use cases and creating something more disruptive like decentralized social media platforms. I think, you know, in my opinion, Web 3.0 is on the similar phase of what NFT used to be on back in 2017. Everybody, you know, used to believe that NFT won't have a future. But right now we are seeing that Facebook has joined the bandwagon. And they have even changed their name to Meta to launch that NFT, to implement the NFT. So I think Web 3.0 still needs some time, but definitely it has a future.
Thank you, also. So we talk about NFT. We talk about Web 3.0, but it's another trendy. It's very hot right now, Metaverse. So Adrian, it's right now Metaverse. They just talk about Metaverse. Always stick with AI and VR. So if always need to apply it to AI and VR in Metaverse, so how everybody here can be adapt with the Metaverse? So what do you think another way can be make the Metaverse more easier reach to everyone?
In my opinion, the Metaverse is already here for me, some call is already a metaverse because you can see people in a human-like experience. You can see their faces, and in a nearby future, we may be able to use holograms, something that is not being developed so much as I may expect, like 1 year ago, or when the change in the name of Facebook occurred, or some other events occurred. I am quite optimistic with holograms, and also cubes or representations like what we have under us that interact with humans, but not in an intrusive way. Not like glasses and this Oculus that we have right now. Maybe they start developing other projects or other products like a cube that may be useful for human-like interactions more than gaming. And that's something that I am quite optimistic and quite bullish on, because these kind of interactions may be developed in a human-like style. We may be interacting with each other like we were in the same room. Let's imagine a room with a screen over the room and other rooms that have the same experience. It's a human-like experience because we can be talking like we are right now, and it may be screened into another place. And we may have like 2 cubes, one here, the other there, and I've been experiencing with this kind of hardware, and that's something that we have to keep in mind. The hardware right now is a big problem. Not just the mobile, not just the PC, but the combination between them, because there are countries that are really focused on the mobile phone. So if you don't have mobile phone interoperability, again, interoperability, we have a problem. And we don't have this problem just for Web3, also for Web2. If we are watching YouTube, we need a strong connection. We need Wi-Fi. We need these kind of technologies that go beyond what's possible right now. And that's something to keep in mind. We need to build this hardware infrastructure before building beautiful graphics and beautiful things that may be useless if you cannot play, if you cannot move yourself because of trade-offs. And that's something to keep in mind when we talk about Metaverse. There will be so many trade-offs that we have to pay and we have to deal with them, so we are able to solve them. And the last thing that I want to share with you is the potential of businesses developing some experiences for the Metaverse, for events, and for some kind of meetings that are really, really important, that maybe some money involved or some contracts involved, and you need that kind of human-like experience. You need to use good connection, you need to use the best Wi-Fi in order to connect for these kind of experiences. And there may be businesses focused on VR and AR, because we need this kind of environment to have meetings. Like we go to the cinemas. Right now we go to the cinema because of the experience of watching the movie in a huge screen. We may go to some theaters or some places where we interact with the Metaverse. That's my opinion, and that's my vision about the Metaverse.
Thank you, Arian. It's very helpful that you talk about the idea of Metaverse and how we can reach everyone can be enjoy the Metaverse. And come back to Baba. Right now, people talk a lot about DeFi, decentralized finance, and they would like to know what is the potential of blending in crypto. So what do you think about in 2022, in the year of DeFi and the year of blending crypto? What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is one of the very practical approaches that actually blockchain industry is providing for people's everyday life. And one of the challenges, also previous speaker mentioned some numbers of the active users of cryptocurrency or like other digital assets. And the problem still exists about the mass adoption, how we can convince more and more people to try to see those benefits and to use cryptocurrency in everyday life. And I think this is still a challenge, and the biggest challenge is how to build trust. Because if you look in history, we are saying that this is the fourth technological revolution, so we managed to survive 3 of them. And the always biggest challenge was how to build trust in the people. At the same time, if you remember history of the launching first credit card in 1958 in America, it was a huge invention, this plastic card, but people did not trust it. It failed. It was absolutely failed. It took 2 years to come back and try to convince people, forget about it, don't touch your cash money, there's this plastic card, this can do magic. Today, if you look, everybody has multiple beautiful, colorful cards probably, and we cannot imagine life without that. But it took a lot of effort. At the same time, we are facing some new services, proposals for the people, outside the market, and that the biggest struggle is how we will find the right way to trust. And about also cryptocurrencies, at the same time, we see that ecosystem is halfly regulated. And the challenge is also we have the centralized finance, this conventional part of the finance, and we have decentralized. We still be living in 2 parallel worlds. The idea is not to say the centralized is bad. It would be naive. We have to still find how to be mediators, how to bridge these 2 worlds and put them together, because at the end, the idea how we can serve the customer the best. Still we will want to have these beautiful plastic cards probably, but still there's other options we can offer to people, and like crypto lending, and we can say payments and all kind of, staking, minting, mining, we can talk about different, digital terms used in our industry. But I'm saying, it's about who is offering, who is our partner in our transaction. So if I can trust the company, and then we think about, then we try to see in the market, if I want to put my assets, my crypto assets, I would probably check who is the company. If they have a website, if I can find where the headquarters, if there are really persons behind that, if they follow any kind of AML rules or KOC, that would build for me a trust that they are credible, that they came to the market not for spring but for marathon. They want to stay long here. And it's all about, who is giving to money, what kind of money, and if I'm secure, if I'm giving my money to be lended, and from whom I'm taking. I think it's, again, and I see very good trends that the industry itself starts this self-regulation. Even in many countries, it is not required to be licensed or regulated, but companies do it themselves because they figured out that that's a way how we will build the trust, and customers will trust on us and will choose our platform.
Yeah, thank you, Baba. So the most important is how to build trust together, right? Yeah. So in the very short time, we have the minority discussion, but the OTB give us the topic is many things to talk, right? Trendy, NFT, about Metaverse, about Web 3.0 and lending crypto. But we can tell everything in here. Just simple question that we can think about for 2022 and 2023. So what about your opinion that 2022, 2023, what is kind of the market will be booming? Because our investor in here, our partner in here would like to hear your opinion. You can predict about the future.
In my opinion, it would be definitely. Basically, decentralized financial system has proven the numbers. We have seen the Ubisoft and DYDX has even, on their one single day transaction, they have surpassed the Coinbase whole transactions in general, right? So DeFi definitely has a future in 2022 and 2023, but we won't say that NFT and Web 3.0 or Metaverse don't have a future. Definitely there has a lot of potential into it, and all these are very good technologies, I would say, but it requires a lot of innovations and a lot of infrastructures as well in general.
in my opinion, the biggest trend will be fractional NFTs. And this idea of returning to fungibility based on a non-fungible asset or an asset that is non-fungible by itself. For example, we have these two towers. We have the Emirates Towers. They are similar to each other, but they are not fungible. They are non-fungible. So we may have this kind of contracts that allow us to fractionalize the asset for a financial purpose. We cannot fractionalize the towers, but we can fractionalize the NFT, which is the tower itself, and then sell it. And we have two ways to do it. We have the coordinates and the positioned NFT, which is an NFT itself, or we can go into the fractionalized way of doing it with a pool, which is some kind of DeFi, some kind of fungible fractionalization. And there is a dilemma which is related to how the markets are created, because we can have a smaller division of these NFTs, which may be fungible and maybe as powerful as 0.0001 unit. And that's really awesome from a technical perspective and from an engineering perspective. We can create tools to empower those who want to buy like $10 or $5. And then we have these coordinates, these smaller spaces, which may be also wonderful for some collectible things or some artists that may be interested in the eye of the board ape. And that's something to think about. We may have fractions of NFTs that are really useful for real estate. For example, skyscraper that can be fractionalized and sold for investors that are willing to have a fraction of a skyscraper and be able to build that in a milestone-based financial scheme would be awesome, because we can program everything. We may have oracles in charge of approving the transactions. Not just saying, okay, let's fundraise 3 million because, oh, we need it. Okay, you need it, but you shouldn't be able to access all the money. You should be accessing like 50,000 or whatever you need for a specific task. And that's also programmable, but fractional NFTs, for me, are the big trend to keep in mind.
And Baiba, what about your opinion? Predict for our coming year?
I also strongly believe that DeFi projects will grow, and more like practical solutions for everyday life will be offered to people. Now already we see that more and more like crypto merchants and possibilities to pay in some restaurants, and you can buy your airplane tickets and hotels, you can pay with your crypto stuff. I think this is also important that like everyday solutions come to the life, and crypto is used for everyday needs. And I see very great potential for NFTs, also like in fashion business. We see that already these famous brands are trying to come together and issue NFTs just to try to fight against counterfeit goods. And also gaming industry is definitely very promising for Metaverse and new experiences that we are looking right now. So.
Yeah, thank you, Baiba. And summarize here that 2022, 2023 is the year of DeFi, decentralized finance, and also GameFi. So all the kind of project in here, well, Foundation and our partner will serve you very well. So our investor here, our partner here, we hope the time of 2022 and 2023 is the year of us. Thank you so much. Thank you, our panelists, for your time.